Then there's another issue related to culture, and that's whether they developed Neanderthals, even humans for that matter, but whether the Neanderthals developed trade, commerce.
Commerce.
Let me read just a one-liner. John Hawkes, he's a guru, right? And then it tells you what these guys are really up to or how much they really know. Neanderthals, in a couple of cases, are trading shells, seashells, that came from fossil deposits, and they trade them over long distances.
Over long, like they threw them?
Yeah, they had this assembly line, you know, and they start trading shells for furs or meat. What do you think of that, John?
It sounds like Flintstones. It is Flintstones. That'll be 5 rocks, sir.
Yeah.
Like what? Commerce.
Commerce.
Isn't that like that sounds obviously ridiculous.
Commerce
sounds like some new stuff.
Of course.
Like historically new, not like this year, but commerce.
Let me tell you give you my 5 cents worth. Commerce is something only humans develop. You know, chimps and gorillas to this day, orangutans, they don't have commerce. But the point here is that commerce is something we developed not only after agriculture. Way after, because agriculture first was subsistence agriculture, then we developed commercial agriculture. It's a high-level development. These guys are talking about 50,000 years ago that the Neanderthals were trading seashells for furs or to cover themselves.
Why would you trade seashells for food if you get it yourself?
Because they're saying that, see, they use them as collars, like they have holes in them. And the question is, these seashells for sure have a different explanation. The question is, these guys try to interpret it this way because they want to introduce their admixture theory. And they're saying, look, if we traded seashells for furs and for meat at the meat market, and women swap women, then clearly, you know, they had brothels, you know, along the roads, and casinos, and, you know, the whole, I mean, what the hell is it?
Look at the Neanderthal casino.
It just shows you how much these people really understand about anthropology. Well, they have no street smart.
Well, it's not even street smart. It's like they're basically assuming Neanderthals were just other humans.
Yeah, not only other humans, but modern humans. Because, I mean, all the things that they're putting in the hands of Neanderthal are language, sex, like, they were reading Playboy magazines or something, you know, and, you know, trade. I mean, what is it?
Commerce is definitely out the window. Like,
and these people are
I guess, but yeah.
And there's a final one, and that's the contagious diseases, mass diseases. You know, we came from Africa and we brought all these diseases and killed them with these diseases, but obviously it's got to do with admixture.
How's that got to do? That sounds like the war thing.
Because we had sex with them, and during sex we gave them all these diseases. That's how it comes into play with the sexual part. It's like we brought, you know, gonorrhea or something and just gave it to them. Like we brought the diseases, and the poor monkeys, you know, in the Arctic, you know, they had no defenses. Like the Mexicans, like Aztecs had no defenses against the Spaniards.
Well, we still have, like, Native Americans.
Yeah,
they didn't all die out.
That's the first issue, that not ever do all of a species or whatever. In this case, you talk about the Aztecs. Not all of them die. Some of them have defenses. That's one issue. But the other issue is that, so the Neanderthals didn't give us diseases? They didn't kill us?
Yeah, but there are more of us, I guess that's the...
Well, yeah, but I mean, it depends on the disease, not on how many we are, you know?
Yeah, we had more to lose.
Yeah, right, if anything. In fact, we are going into their environment. We are changing the environment, not them. They're already in there. They're used to their diseases. You know, they're sedentary, more or less. But we are coming from Africa, and we should be encountering new diseases. We should be killed, not them. But there were no mass diseases. You know, hunter-gatherers, you're talking about little clans of maybe 20, 30 people. You know,
whatever disease your clan got killed everyone in the clan.
Mass diseases.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a clan of like 20 people, if you do get a disease, they do all die.
Well, assuming that's
it's like that clan is dead, but everyone else just keeps living.
Right, that's one issue. The other issue is that not everyone in the clan dies. Almost always, someone survives.
Oh yeah, but if you survive as the lone survivor of your clan, someone else is going to kill you.
To survive.
That's what I mean. But that's what I mean. Either your clan doesn't get sick, or it gets sick and dies. It's very straightforward.
Yeah, and again, mass diseases are something that you need mass.
But these guys didn't have mass. It's a mass disease, but on a small scale.
There's no such thing.
But that's what it is. Because if you have a clan, if that clan gets a mass disease, happens to get it, because they're all kind of cramped into a cave. If they get it, they just die. But it's not like every clan gets it.
That's one.
It's like it's quarantined. Every mass disease that happens to happen would be quarantined within the clan. It's not mass disease in the sense that everyone's in a city where everyone's talking to everyone. There's no quarantine in that sense. That's a different sense, like bubonic plague. That kills everyone because everyone touches everyone. But I think in smaller groups, like clans, if a clan happens to get a bubonic plague, it's like they're already quarantined, so they just die off, but everyone else keeps living.
And one issue with that also is that the disease dies with them.
True. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because it's not like it spreads. It would spread if you're like in a city and with what I say mass. You need mass to have a mass disease. These guys didn't have mass.
You can't really have a mass disease. See, that would also be against the commerce thing because. If they did get
traffic with diseases.
Yeah, because if you do get mass disease,
then
it would have affected. We'd have some sort of evidence, I guess, of them dying by mass diseases, which would indicate that they were actually trading and talking to everyone. But I'm assuming these are all these like quarantined clans, like clans that don't meet, or if they meet, they become meat. Like they fight each other, or they didn't see each other.
No, but what you just said is important. Let's take the year 45,000 years ago, right? Then we should have, a layer with all the Neanderthals dead because they were all killed by disease. So we would find like, a lot of skulls, somewhere, or some cemetery or some cave that's got 10 guys dead, and say, oh, these guys died of the same disease. And we could probably figure out if they died of the disease, even 45,000 years later, we could probably figure out. But there's no such thing. There's no such evidence of something like that. So
because again, when you have roaming clans, you're not really hit by disease. Disease isn't really what gets you.
Yeah, and so and roaming clans is important because if these guys are roaming, even if they kill one clan in a cave, first the disease dies there, assuming there's such a thing. But then again, it's too low density to sustain a mass disease.
Yeah, to sustain, that's the point. Because they're not all passing it to each other. It's like if it happens to hit someone, they just die. Yeah,
and you can have like bubonic plague, some kind of archaic version of it, strain, whatever. Or you can have, even mosquitoes, yellow fever, some kind of ancient version of it. If it was in their region, they would have gotten used to it over time. They would have killed a lot of people over time.
One plant here,
it would have wiped out, and then others would continue. Eventually, the disease forms, an uneasy relationship with them. Maybe gets them sick, but doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
And now you got these Africans coming over, these humans, and the question is, what could they have brought that killed them off? And again, we're talking if it's sexual, it's not a mass disease.
Yeah, it would have to be like the Spanish flu.
Right, it has to be something like that because, apparently the Americans gave the Spaniards, I'm talking about, the Aztecs, perhaps the Incas, gave the Spaniards the, what do you call it, these, what do you call that disease, sexual disease?
Syphilis?
Syphilis, gave the European syphilis. They say that came from America, but it was a one-on-one. It's not something that kills off millions of people. Syphilis is not a mass disease. It's a one-on-one. You have sex, you get it. That's it. You're dead.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect the whole population.
Because you're not having sex.
And so if the diseases the Africans or our forefathers, the Cro-Magnons, what they brought over to the European Neanderthals were sexual diseases, well, it would have killed that Neanderthal. That's it. It's not going to kill all the Neanderthals. And so, you know,
you have to be some sort of
trade, sexual diseases, you know, none of it, if within the culture, I cannot explain it.
Well, that is if you assume that Neanderthals were gorillas and very different from humans. But I'm guessing these people think that Neanderthals were just like humans.
Like, of course, exactly. They have to make them like humans, because otherwise everybody would question the interbreeding, you know, process or mechanism.
But I guess it just, I don't know. You can't really explain how humans, or how a species evolved into humans in Europe exactly the same way that it would evolve in Africa.
Yeah.
And then they bred like they're long lost cousins. They're just like, oh, we're friends again. Like, you can't really.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No, especially if the Neanderthals, you know, killed other Neanderthals.
Well, didn't humans kill other humans?
Of course. I'm sure it was every clan was by itself. Every clan was the country.
But that's what I'm saying.
Every other clan was an enemy.
I don't think that's where the culture shock comes.
But it has to do with culture, because a lion, you know, he's got his pride. That's his clan, right? Yeah. But the clan on the other side, that's his enemy.
Yeah, but
another lion comes over, he's gotta kill him or get killed. What are the two?
That doesn't cancel out admixture, because you can have a lion just come in and kill all the males and just take over the pride.
Right. But my point is, they weren't friendly. The lions
definitely weren't friendly.
Right.
Let's put that out the door. Well, no one's friendly in the wild.
But these guys are saying that if you have a long-term relationship, it's because there's friendliness, there's neighborliness. How else can you explain?
Yeah, you can't have neighborliness. You can't have commerce. We're barely friendly with each other in the modern day. Today we're barely friendly, and we're the most civilized thing that ever was.
Oh, we are.
I hope. We're super civilized, and we're killing each other. Commerce. Yeah, let me trade some 3 seashells for you.
For your wife.
Yeah, for your wife. What?
How much is your wife worth?
Yeah.
two furs, 3 seashells.
Ooga. So what should we do with the geeks that work at the Max Planck Institute? Well, let me tell you what I think. Cowabunga!